There goes that guy again, always touching his hair. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's the only time I'm going to look at the camera today because I'm driving. Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you? Sometimes my brain and my mouth, they're not in sync. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the channel. Ern here. I collect, buy, sell, trade, vend. I buy, sell, trade, collect, vend. I like to leave with collect so people don't think I'm a phony. I'm a collector. Collector first and foremost. Sometimes I collect things that are expensive and valuable. This bus almost hit me. Some things I collect have no value at all. And that's totally okay. Welcome back. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, let's see. Channel's going pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. It is crazy. I think I checked this morning, 600 subs, about 1,500 to 2,000 views per video. You guys got to understand, my previous channel had like 50,000 subs from like 15 years ago. A lot of dead subscribers. And so I made this channel mainly because the old channel was not helping me out in terms of the algorithm. And I decided it was time for a change. And lo and behold, if I am I can probably be the best example of someone who is sorry, I took a left turn I shouldn't have. I had a channel that was giving the algo a lot of negative signs. And now that I've shed all that excess weight, that fat, this channel, for some reason, the content, and it just seems to be doing well. And I don't, I'm like a stream of consciousness tuber. I just say what I'm thinking. And this is the best medium for me while I'm driving, doing things. I'm a guy who thinks, about 100 things a minute. I'm always thinking about something while I'm thinking about something while I'm doing something. And so if I can just let my thoughts out there and just talk, it usually is the best way for me to communicate, what's on my mind. Sometimes I will be honest. I don't even know what I just said. It's just the way my brain works. I have a lot of things on the mind and I'll record like a 10-minute video. I'll play it back, just for, quality assurance sake. And then I'll realize like, oh, that didn't make any sense at all. So I scrap it. I did that actually twice yesterday. I recorded probably like 45 minutes of just me talking. And then I realized I was rambling on about something that, anyway, it happens. Sometimes I say things that make sense. Sometimes I don't. This channel really for me is to talk about the hobby. I've coined myself somewhere between a collection purist. So someone who really likes to collect things and is about the love of the cards. Somewhere between that and a dirty, filthy investor, Pokemon card investor. I kid. I've made money, good money, holding sealed, holding cards. I've been part of, I guess, 2 or 3 booms now. But I'm somewhere caught in the middle. I sell a lot. I buy a lot and I trade a lot. So you wouldn't really find me in one camp or one ideology or one way of thinking. I've been there. I've done retail arbitrage. I've done buying singles at launch and graded them. I grade cards. I've done every part of the hobby, every nook and cranny you can think of, I've done. So hopefully when I talk about stuff, I try to frame it in a way where it's like, hey, this is my perspective. This is how I think about things. But I don't have any loyalties. I'm like a Ronin. I'm like a Ronin samurai who just out here doing his own thing, not loyal to anyone or one kingdom or one family or whatever. I just do my own thing. Anyway, today's topic, what are we talking about today? You are your own worst enemy. Yes, you are. Oh yeah, that one stung, huh? Some people are probably like, no. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're your own worst enemy. And where does this topic really come from? I was thinking about this new hot set coming out, Destined Rivals. Have you heard of it? Coming out soon. Man, I think the set's going to be great. Looks great. Heatwave Arena was great in Japanese. Glory of Team Rocket I actually think it was okay. Good, not great. Someone's going to light me up in the comments. I just wish that they had a Snorlax, right? Jesse and James, and maybe like, I don't know. Nidoqueen doesn't really get a lot of love, because Giovanni likes Nidoking, but I was just hoping for a little bit more selection, in Pokemon. Anyway, Glory of Team Rocket's coming. We are 3 weeks from release, and I will remind you, if you've not watched the first video on this channel, I'm doing a giveaway, booster box of Destined Rivals. All you have to do is like and comment and subscribe on that video. So like and comment on the video, subscribe overall. I don't care what comment you leave on there. Just don't obviously get flagged for abuse or whatever. But you can say you're entering the giveaway, whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother me. I've learned that over time that, you're giving me your time and effort. I give you the chance to win something. Totally normal, totally mutual, beneficial relationship. And that's just what it is. So Glory of Team Rocket, you're your worst enemy. How many people out there know? You know. In the deep, dark corner of your minds and hearts, how many of you know that eventually the price of Destined Rivals is going to stabilize? Even if you're new, right? I find it so hard to believe that with all these prices going ballistic, even if you're new, there's not an ounce or small part of you that believes, hey, maybe the market is willing to pay these prices, but it's not going to sustain long term. Think about it. And when I first started out, there was a lot of denial with the sense of they might be true. On latest sets come out, they sell out. I'm never going to get it again. And then when I really sit down and analyze, okay, never, ever going to get it again. It's always going to be this expensive. You start to piece together things that you've heard and some logic from other people. And you realize that oh, I know what's giving me this sensation, this desire to want to buy and acquire. It's FOMO. It's social pressure. It's social media. It's YouTube content. It's YouTubers. It's Twitter people. It's basically everyone who's talking about modern. There's just so much tension around being first, having it, being able to open up product on release weekend, being able to share what you have. But at the same time, that pressure, when you take a step back, and this is why, for me, I'm a big advocate of people consume less content and go create more things. Go sell, go to trade shows, create experiences, connect with people. Those are all things that really ground you. But if you are constantly consuming content and what's new, what's hot, and today's market price and all that stuff, what ends up happening is your senses get overloaded to the max. Like Electabuzz. What was it? Electabuzz from the power plant in Red and Blue. Wasn't it powering the power plant, or is that I forget. You get so overloaded and overcharged with I have to be doing something. I have to be buying. I have to. And as soon as you catch yourself realizing that oh, you're talking to yourself in a way, you're doing things where you have to do it, that's when you know you're down this slippery, dark path of I think I may be in over my head. I think I may be allocating too much of my time to investment content, market content, to the latest drama, to market prices, to, you name it, right? And why do I want to make this video? Honestly, it was inspired by something not related to Pokemon at all. I'm now in the workforce. Guilty. Commute every day, 45 minutes each way. Inevitable. Unless I leave really early. So, as such, my schedule is this. 8 o'clock, I drop off the kid at the daycare. I drive to work. After work, I go home. And I'll be home by 5:30. Well, I just started, so we'll see. 5:30 after I do pickup. So all in all, 9-10 hours of my day is gone, right? If you have a kid, have a 1.5-year-old. She requires, I don't know, 2 hours for school of like getting up, eating, playtime, getting ready, all that stuff. So she's up by like 6. For me, I need to exercise. Point 1. Point 2, I need to exercise. I cannot exercise after like the hours of noon to 1. I don't know what it is. I've tried to work out in the afternoons. When I was younger, it worked. But as I've gotten older, like I don't like saying this. I'm just unable to do it. It just, in my head, the intensity, the effort, the energy just is not there, does not click. So I've already laid out my schedule. What does that leave me with? Well, I have to work out in the morning. And in order to do so, based on the schedule I laid out, I got to wake up at like 4. And I should say it's a privilege to wake up at 4. It is the most amazing feeling to be up before the rest of the world on the West Coast. Be able to do what you want, at your own pace. But I got to do that. And I have not been. Big transition in our lives. We moved, started a new job, getting all the schedules situated. My point is that like I was actively not doing it. I wasn't going to bed early enough, wasn't getting enough sleep. I was not pushing myself to go get that new gym membership I need to get. Not pushing myself to make sure that I got to wake up at 4 in order to work out at 5. There's all these things that I know about myself that I was choosing not to do. And as a result, I make this video. I may seem in high spirits. My body kind of hurts. Haven't been able to work out. Haven't been able to stretch. Haven't been able to like do my normal things that I need to kind of exist. But I am my own worst enemy in that case. I actually have 0 reasons, 0 excuses as to why I am unable to do what I need to. It's just, there are just reasons that I give myself, right? And let's translate that back into cards. And the reason why I want to make this video, I don't know how on edge, or maybe on edge at all, if you're on edge at all, you are about the hobby. Investors, I will say, investors, I'll be real with you guys. People who say that they're Pokemon investors, like modern investors, I honestly have never seen a more on edge group of people who, for some reason, all they need to do is just go buy booster boxes and then go into a cryo chamber, wake up 10 years from now, you're good. I have never seen a group of individuals. By the way, I am or was a part of this group, so I'm not like throwing shade, who are constantly trying to figure out how to justify the next set to invest in. And it's like, guys and girls, ladies, men, it's never been complicated. It's never been complicated. It really is that simple. And so for the amount of investment content out there and people that watch it, it's this group that, again, I am a part of, that is always like, like, okay, so what, so is this the next best set? Like, should we buy this next set? And it's like, fellas, I think you know what to do. I think part of it too is herd mentality, hive mind, trying to get people on the same page so you feel better about your day-to-day decisions. But I think at the end of the day, if you're someone with strong conviction, you don't need that. You don't need the validation of others. You might seek feedback, right? You might want to try to understand like, hey, I'm buying this, or are you buying this at this? For example, I've been buying Fusion Strike. I bought 3 more, $500 each. Thank you, Don. Shout out to Don on Instagram. I appreciate you. I bought 3 more at $500 each, shipped. And before I did that, I asked around friends. I watched some content. Actually, a big motivator for me was, that tipped me off to Fusion Strike, because I wasn't paying attention, was, Nick, the Pokeplumber. I watch him all the time. But I'm not trying to seek validation. It's more so I'm trying to seek data and reference points, if that makes sense. Because whether I do or don't do the action, what I'm really looking for is like, am I going to feel good about the decision I made based on real research, based on based on like actual information I have. Whereas I feel like if you're new or you're kind of cruising, you're buying a lot of the sealed product today. Sorry, that's my phone recalibrating. I know it's a weird noise. It is what it is. You're buying a lot of sealed product today because you don't want to be left out, not because you think it's a good buy. No shade, just saying. It happens all the time. I do it all the time. That sort of thing. Anyway, we are on a tangent. See, this is what I'm talking about. We were talking about Fusion Strike, working out. You are your own worst enemy. This is where I'm going to have to edit because I am totally lost. This has not happened before. I think that, hive mind, all that stuff. Anyway, yeah. I hope you had to laugh at me. I think there's this natural tension between doing the thing that you believe in and feeling good about that. That requires a lot of self-confidence, self-belief. And, that's not easy to do. It comes from experience. And that naturally, I think just day to day in a lot of things, butts heads with, or has tension with society, what everyone else is doing, what people are talking about, and being left out. FOMO, right? And ironically, I don't view myself as like a professional. I just decided to let it rip one day. And I started to talk about how big my collection is, and then how much I've made in cards. And then people started watching. And so I feel like it's normal, I think, to want to gravitate towards people who are going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. This channel does not exist for me to tell you what you do, to tell you what to do. Unless, you need some life advice on stuff. I'm not here to tell people what to do in cards. I'm here to share what I'm doing and what I'm thinking, to hopefully educate and share what a degenerate card collector is doing in a game printed on cardboard. That's it. And so if you learn along the way, that's great. But my channel does not exist to give investment advice. It does not exist to tell you what to do your money. It does not exist to say, hey, if you do this, you're going to do well. It really exists, honestly, in some ways, for me to tell myself what I should have done years ago in another universe, in another timeline. I wish I had a lot of the resources that we have available today. Because, I bought collection boxes, tins, mini tins, special collection, premium set, all this junk. Most of it ends up being nothing unless it has a promo or good packs. I bought all this stuff and there was not a lot of help back then. There was not a lot of guidance on how to best do these things. But I will say, in the back of my head, I think as I started to sit down and think about okay, so this product that I have, is it going to be worth trading in the future? Are people going to want to buy it from me? Is it something that could potentially be worth 3 times, 4 times in the future? I look at these things and that's when I just kind of deduced, I don't think this really makes sense. I mean, I think holding the most common denominator, which would be a booster box, actually it would be a booster back, makes sense, but booster boxes seem much better in terms of a nicely valued and wrapped product, 36 packs versus holding a bunch of booster packs. Anyway, I think a lot of people do know what to do. And they're not willing to admit that it might be a little bit different than what people are talking about. They might not be willing to admit that it's not cool to not be buying Destined Rivals. It's very uncool. It's not cool to not be opening Destined Rivals on release weekend. It's not cool, but it's those are just judgments of what other people or the hobby or the community is doing that's cast on you. It's not, it's not necessarily a reflection of who you are. So I see this a lot in YouTube comments. hey, do you think I should buy this? It's kind of a loaded question. I don't know anything about you. I don't know how much money you have. I don't know if you're operating with stolen money, house money, bill money, childcare money, food money. I don't know if you already have one or 5 or 10. I don't know if you're going to get a discount. I don't know all these different things. But typically when individuals ask, should I buy this thing? I think in a lot of cases people know. And what they're really looking for is, I've already made up my mind, which is I'm going to buy it. Can you just validate how I feel? And I think that is a dangerous, slippery slope. Here we go again with slippery slopes to get into, because there are a lot of things you could buy. Really, it just depends on what is your appetite for risk? What is your timeline? What is your ability to say, hey, that $40, I don't really care about it. Doesn't matter if I lose it. Great. Then you should buy these things. There's all these like nuances to these questions that are required to answer these questions truthfully, that I don't think people really, they don't understand that when they ask these things, they're the best equipped to actually answer it, not the people that they ask. Now that's a stinger. They are actually the best people equipped to answer these questions. It's not the people they end up asking. You know, I had someone the other day. Forgot your name. I'm sorry. The question was, what would you set someone to invest in if they don't have enough money to buy a booster box? I think this person knows the answer to the question, which is they shouldn't be buying anything if they can't afford a booster box. And I'm not saying that as like a gatekeeping way to get people out of the hobby. I'm saying that as a booster box is, cheapest booster box is like what? 170? Right? Sword and Shield Battle Style is like 180. 170. In Cards world, that's not that much money. In real life world, that's, for some people, that's like what? A third, a fifth, a tenth of their paycheck, right? Depending on where you live and how much you make. Like, that's legitimately a lot of money. And I think if you were looking at the hobby and thinking, okay, well, I don't have enough. I kind of want to buy into the hobby, like it's a stock, but I can't afford Amazon. I want to buy like a cheaper off the shelf brand. I think you know what you're supposed to do. That's my honest truth. So I feel obligated in my position in this channel where I make this content. This is why I don't answer a lot of these questions, because I do feel like people know what they're supposed to do. They're just choosing not to do it. And then they want people to validate decisions that they shouldn't be making. Sorry. They want people to validate decisions that they know should not be made based on their circumstances. So I don't like to do that. I don't want to be in that position where I decide for someone, hey, Paradox Rift is a great buy. It's a $600 booster box case when it was. You should buy it because it's a great buy, super all-time low. I can only think about like the impact of that statement to so many people out there. I can't think about how much it's going to help people because I just don't know enough about the individuals to be giving that advice. This is why at the end of the day, people say not financial advice. This is not financial advice. Talk to a financial advisor, because giving people advice who you don't know anything about them, the opportunity cost, what they're doing, blah, 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 blah. It's nothing short of dangerous and risky. And I don't want to be responsible for someone else, except for my family, obviously, and my close friends. So what I can only share and tell you is how I think about things. And whether that relates or not, or helps or doesn't, I can't control. But at least I can help educate and tell you that you should not be buying cards if you can't pay your bills. You should not be investing into cards if you can't afford, I would say a booster box, which is like the tried and true investment. And honestly, you shouldn't purchase a hobby unless you love the cards. That's my honest take. Whether you're in it for money or not, you'll go way further in the hobby and enjoy the hobby way more if you can figure out how to love the hobby, love the cards, love the art, love the whatever it is, right? So that's it. That is today's 25-minute video. I don't know if it made sense, but it doesn't matter. This is a one-shot take, so we'll take it as it is. Thank you for watching. My name's Ern. Appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like and comment on the first video on the channel. It's linked down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.